Dun, 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 dun. We're live. Welcome to our monthly live stream Tai Chi workout. So, I know usually we do the first Tuesday, but last week here in the US was 4th of July, and a lot of people like to set off fireworks all night long, and I had other appointment scheduled on that Tuesday, so I just decided to move it. Now, the reason this is not at 1 o'clock like normally is because I forgot when I moved the time that I also had to go pick up fresh peaches from the peach truck. For those of you that live on the eastern half of the U.S., the peach truck comes from Georgia, and the peaches are amazing. So I had to go pick those up and bring them back home and take them out. So that is why we are starting a half hour later than we normally would. So that said, a couple things to keep in mind, depending on your level and practice. Number one, if anything hurts, you stop doing it, even if I'm telling you to do it. I'm obviously not there in the room with you, so I can't really observe you. Two, if you feel like you're about to lose your balance, stop what you're doing, grab a hold of something, preferably not another person. Maybe have a sturdy piece of furniture close by. If you are feeling, a little bit off balance or balance challenged, it's good to have something to brace yourself on. And number three, don't compare yourself to anybody else, especially me, unless you really want to be miserable. The secret, I think, to making yourself crazy and unhappy is to really compare yourself to other people. It's just a recipe for disaster, and it's not very helpful, particularly when you're doing any sort of wellness or fitness practice. And this is more of a wellness practice than it is a fitness practice. We are working on building functional strength, balance, and flexibility. So functional strength is different than fitness strength. Functional strength is about getting through your day and your normal tasks with ease. Fitness strength is about building up, but you have to have functional strength before you can build fitness strength. So just keep that in mind. The other thing, you're going to want to have some water close by that you can take sips from. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Do as much as you can do comfortably. If you need to take a break, you can always sit and then jump back in. But if all you can do is just the warm-up, that's still a really great practice for your body and your overall health. So if you have any problems or questions, put them in the comments. I do check them. I read them whenever I take a break. And if you have any trouble hearing me, definitely put that in. I was looking for mics yesterday and I did not find one. So unfortunately, that keeps getting booted down the line for the next month. So today what we're going to be working on is a form called Fire Kisses the Lotus, because we're in this right now. It's summer where I am. So in summer, that's ruled by fire. And this has a combination of stretch, sort of flexibility in the back, and the movement of fire out of the 5 elements, as well as some good balance movements. So it's a nice little form. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or just say hello, because I always like to see who is on the stream with us. And hopefully my dog will be quiet during the class. Hopefully. We'll see. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to switch to a different view so I can see what the camera sees. And looks like the dog bed is in the frame. All right. Let me move this forward a bit. Okay, so let's begin with your feet shoulder width apart. Have a slight bend in the knees. See? Let's align the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. As you breathe, you want to breathe in through the nose, down into the abdomen. Expand upwards through the chest, and then finally, out through the mouth. So let's bring our hands to chest level. Open the chest, relax the shoulders down, drop the elbows. Tilt the pinkies in towards the chest as you tilt the thumbs gently away. Tuck your tailbone in slightly and then sink your weight down through your feet. Down into the ground, and then extend and lengthen the spine. And that ha sound is the fire breath. We use that a lot in Tai Chi because it helps us to slow down and release tension. And now let's bring our hands up above, palms face up, shoulders wide, chest open. Keep the tailbone tucked in as you look up in between the palms, holding up the sky. If your neck is stiff, you might want to turn your head from side to side. Now let's go ahead and relax the arms back down. Bring our hands an inch or two below the navel. Dantian, your center of gravity. We're going to practice some basic weight shifting. So on the exhalation, you're going to roll Dantian over to one side, making a shallow arc with the hips. Inhale, come back to the center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale to the center, and then exhale to the side. So this little shallow arc that we're making with the hips as we go from side to side really helps us protect the joints, particularly the knees. It's also just a slight exaggeration of how we roll the hips when we walk. But what we're really teaching ourselves to do is basically really shift over to one side and get Dantian centered over our weighted leg. And so we want those three centers, pelvis, sternum, and forehead, all in alignment over one leg. And what that does is that moves our weight over. And that frees up this leg. Now we're going to come back to the center and exhale. Now as we shift over, we're going to turn from the waist, pivot on the heel, and turn and look towards the wall. As we inhale, we're going to come back to the center. Exhale, shift over, turn from the waist, pivot on the heel, and turn and look towards the other wall. Then inhale, come back to the center. So it's really important that you're completely shifted over before you start that turn, and that you're turning from the waist and not the foot or the ankle. That'll help protect the joints in your leg and be a smoother movement. All right. So now let's bring the hands in front, pull your fingers over your thumbs. You're going to bend forward, and as you inhale, open the chest, drive those shoulder blades back. And as you exhale, we're going to make a hissing sound as you back in. Inhale and open. And exhale. Curl back in. Inhale and open. And exhale and curl back in. Inhale and open. And exhale. Curl back in. Inhale and open. And exhale. Curl back in. And now let's roll up. Great. Now bring your arms out to your side. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. Make an O with your fingers and your thumbs. Let your hands drop down and start to turn from the waist. Let those arms swing freely. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Let the turning of the waist generate the movement for you. And these are just lightly coming across the hips and tailbone. You're not pounding here. They're just sort of gently falling. And now let's go ahead and come across the rib cage. Some days I do wish that my Wi-Fi would reach out to my deck and that I had really great sound equipment so that I could practice out there for a live stream sometime. If it's possible for you to do, I do suggest that you practice outside in shade whenever you can. And now let's go ahead and come across the chest. Practicing in nature is always a good idea if you can find a safe place for you to practice. And now we're coming across the chest here with the lung points, so you might cough or clear your throat. That is natural. So we're also stimulating these points where we sometimes will have tightened up with emotion. So you might have some feelings rise up as well. That's all right. And now let's give yourselves a pat on the back. And now go ahead and come back across the chest. Come back across the rib cage. And come back down to the hips and the tailbone. And we're slowly going to come to a stop. All right. Now we're going to bend as we do. Slap the inside of the thighs as you come up. Tap the pelvis. Waking up the legs down, getting some blood flow down through there. All right, now let's lift one arm, take the other hand, gently tap down from the armpit to the waist. We'll take a long time with our warm-up, and that's all right because it helps us to feel better with our practice. So let's feel for the collarbones, come just below and gently tap. So that fire breath is really good. If you notice you're holding tension or just holding in, to just and now come to the center of the sternum. And come just below the chest and then out to the sides. And bring the hands in front. Aware of the tingling in the palms, up the arms, across the shoulders, down the spine, down through the legs. Bring your hands back to Dantian. And go ahead and breathe in. Now we're going to do our balance practice movement for the day, which is going to be incorporated in our form. So we're going to do the lotus kick. Now we're going to shift our weight over to one side. As we inhale, we're going to draw that other leg in as we bring our arms up, cupping under the chest. And this is going to be kind of like the lotus blossom. As we inhale, we come up, exhale, come out to the side, and then we're going to step down, shift over, inhale, come up now with the other leg. It's not a very high kick. It's a low kick. One of the things you want to make sure of is as you come over to one side and you come up, is that you stay upright through the spine so that you're really using your core and the leg muscles to hold you up. You're not using that lower back as a counterweight, so you're not shifting your back like this to stay upright. You want to really use the core and stabilize your muscles. Shift over, inhale, come up. Exhale, kick out. Step down, shift over, inhale, and come up. All right, let's all take a sip. I'm going to check comments, see if we have any questions. Marie, you've joined us. Congrats. I'm so glad you made the time. I know we had a lot of time changes on this one, but we do what we can. So, let's see. Marie's one of my Patreon supporters, so it's always nice to see a Patreon supporter on a live stream. It's just affirming. And let's go back to camera view for me. Okay. So now we're going to do our Qigong exercises for the day. And we're going to do, as our Qi raiser today, we're going to do dipping and splashing. This is a great one for the lower back. One of the common mistakes that people make with this is they try to go really low with the hands, which is really not necessary. You really only want to go as far as is comfortable. And what's happening is we have a diagonal lift with our arms. And that's where the power of this movement is. So don't concentrate on going really low. Concentrate instead on that smooth diagonal lift up. This also has little mini squats in it. And again, they're just like an inch or two. And that's it. So we're not doing deep bends or squats. We can do those sorts of things with certain exercises, but this is not one of them. So let's begin with our feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, gently align the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. Bring your palms face up at your side. And as you inhale, shift your weight to your right, turn the waist to the left, and as you exhale, scoop down the outside of the left leg, going only as far as is comfortable. Now inhale, bring the hands together and come across the body at a diagonal up over the head. Exhale, make as if you're splashing the face with water as you sink down slightly. Inhale, bring the hands together to the chest, and then exhale. Have a slight bow. Inhale, hands to the side, shift to the left, turn to the right, and exhale, scoop down the right leg. Inhale, hands together, come across the body, up over the head. Exhale, splash the face as you sink down. Inhale, hands to the chest, and exhale, slight bow. Inhale, hands to the side, shift to the right, turn the waist to the left. Exhale, scoop down the left leg. Inhale, hands together, come across the body, up over the head. Exhale. Splash the face as you sink down. Inhale, hands to the chest. And exhale, slight bow. Hands to the side, shift to the left, turn to the right. No, shift to the left, yes. Turn the waist to the right. Exhale, scoop down the right leg. Sometimes I get my words mixed up when I'm teaching. Inhale, come across the body, up over the head. Exhale, splash the face as you sink down. Inhale, hands to the chest, and exhale, slight bow. Inhale, hands to the side, shift to the right, turn to the left, and exhale, scoop down the left leg. Inhale, hands together, come across the body, up over the head. Exhale, splash the face as we sink down. Inhale, hands to the chest. And exhale, slight bow. Hands to the side, shift to the left, turn the waist to the right. And exhale, scoop down that right leg. Inhale, hands together, come across the body, up over the head. Exhale, splash the face as you sink down. Inhale, hands to the chest, and exhale, slight bow. Let's do once more to each side, but let's go very slowly. Turn the waist and scoop down as you exhale. Inhale, come across and up. Sink down. Bring the hands to the chest and exhale. With our slight bow. Hands to the side. Let's shift to the left and turn now to the right. Exhaling, scooping down. Inhale, coming across. Splashing the face. And giving a slight bow. Wonderful. Check and see how your body feels with it. How does your back feel with that? Usually I can feel that in my lower back, particularly where I get tight. And it's a really great exercise for that. This is also a really great chi raiser, so it's one of my favorite to do in the winter because it's so very warming. So we're going to practice opening and closing the gate as the follow-up exercise, our chi balancer. We just did a chi raiser, so we're going to always follow that up with a chi balancer. We're going to come into a low ball holding position. So the upper portion of the ball is going to be right at chest level. The lower one's going to be here down at dantian. So we're going to be actually at middle dantian and lower dantian. So to keep your shoulders relaxed is really important with this. And to do that, it's easier to focus on the lower hand, putting your attention there, and that moves your awareness down, and your shoulders tend to follow that. So, but I will remind you to relax your shoulders. And now as you exhale, you're going to come to one side and gently press behind. Inhale, gathering up the ball. As we come back across the center line, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And then exhaling, pressing behind on the other side. Inhale, gather that ball as you come across the center. And exhale, press behind. Inhale, gathering the ball. And exhale, pressing behind. Inhale, gathering the ball. And exhale. Press behind. Relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, holding that ball as you come across. Exhale, pressing behind. Inhale, holding the ball. And exhale, pressing behind. And this is one of the ones that as you slow down, the movement becomes so much more difficult to do. To keep it smooth, to keep relaxed. So really using the breath to move is really key with this one. You go ahead and come back to center. All right, let's all take a sip. And we'll get started here in a moment or two with our form practice today. And I'll check comments while I'm here. So there's like a 5 to 10 second delay on this, which is wonderful. Except when I'm trying to check and I'm looking at the screen. All right, great. So, questions, comments, how do you feel? Check in. It's after every single thing we do, check in with your body. See how it feels. See how all of this affects how you're moving, how you're sitting, how your posture, just how your muscles are holding up, or is there where your tension is, and has it moved at all? Has it loosened? Where do you feel more energized? Where do you feel more relaxed? All of those things are things that you should be thinking about, because then you know how each individual exercise affects yourself. The sneeze. Probably going to be a second one coming here in a second. And this is kind of how I've, over time, built up routines, built up practices, from day to day. I can't practice everything I know every day. That would be an all-day thing, and I still would miss certain things. So I have to pick and choose. And once you know how different exercises affect you, you can go with what you need for that day or what you want to work on, which is very handy, because then you can take some of the instructional videos that I have and you can create your own playlist for different things. So, alright. We're going to do our form practice. Fire kisses the lotus. So this is, just watch for a moment. I'm going to go through it once just for you to see what it looks like. And then I'll take you through it step by step, and then we'll practice a few times, and then we'll go into a flowing kind of movement. So this is our starting. And then to close. So that's a simple one, side to side. It gets centered here in the frame. Come up just a little bit closer. So we start with our feet shoulder width apart. That slight bend in the knees, gently aligning the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead. As we inhale, our opening movement is silk sheets. So as we inhale, we rise on the breath, the arms. And exhale, sink back down. Now inhale, shift your weight to your left, turn slightly in with the right, shift over to the right, and as you inhale, lift up the left hand and left leg and open it out to the side. Step to the heel and exhale. Roll forward, that's fire. Now we're going to inhale and shuffle up as the hands come in. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, come into the lotus kick. So bring the arms up, cup under the chest, left leg up. Exhale, kick out. Step to the heel. Inhale. The arms go behind as you roll forward, and exhale, sink back. Now on the right leg, have the wrists come together for a wrist strike for tiger strike. Now inhale, and we're going to take the hands and pull up as if we're pulling ourselves up on our rail or something. Shift over as we exhale. See how we're pivoting on this heel, because we want to turn that leg just slightly in and then shift over and inhale. Lift up on the right and open the hip out. Step to the heel and exhale. Roll forward for fire on the right. Inhale, shuffle up. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, gather up the hands, raise the right leg, and exhale, kick out for the lotus kick and come down. Arms go behind as you roll forward. Exhale, sink back on the left leg. Wrist strike forward for tiger strike. Inhale, hands pull ourselves up. Exhale, shift over, turn, and swivel in on that right. Inhale, lift up and open the left hip out. Step to the heel, exhale, and roll forward. For fire. Inhale and shuffle up. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, come into the lotus kick. Kick out that left leg and come down to the heel. Inhale as you roll forward, arms go behind. Exhale, sink back on the right and wrist strike forward for tiger. Inhale, pull up. And one of the things you don't see, it might be hard for you to see, as I pull up, I'm kind of rolled forward. And I use that to bring this foot back in a straight line here. And then exhale, as I shift over, I turn this leg in a bit. And shift over. Inhale, open up the hip and step to the heel. And exhale, roll forward on the right for fire. Inhale, shuffle up. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, gather up the hands, lift that right leg up, and exhale. Kick out and come down. Inhale, arms go behind as you roll forward. Exhale, sink back on the left. Wrist strike forward for tiger. Inhale and pull up. Exhale, shift over, turn in on the right. Inhale, lift up with the left and open the hip out. Step to the heel, exhale and roll forward. Inhale and shuffle up. Exhale and sink back. Inhale. Come up with the hands and raise the left leg. Exhale. Kick out for the lotus kick and come down. Inhale. The arms go behind as you roll forward. Exhale. Sink back on the right. Wrist strike forward for tiger. Inhale and pull up. Exhale. Shift over and turn in as we sweep across. Inhale. Lift up, open the hip, step down to the heel, and exhale, roll forward for fire. Inhale and shuffle up. Exhale, sink back on the back leg. Inhale, gather up the lotus, and exhale, kick out, come down. Inhale, roll forward as the arms go behind. Exhale, sink back. As the wrists come forward, strike for tiger strike. Inhale and pull up. Exhale, turn in and sweep across. Inhale, open the hip, step to the heel. Exhale, roll forward for fire. Inhale, shuffle up. Exhale, sink back. Inhale, come into the lotus kick. Step down, roll forward. Sink back, wrist strike forward for tiger strike. Inhale and pull up. Exhale, sweep across. Inhale, opening up the hip, stepping to the heel, and then exhale. Rolling forward for fire. Inhale, shuffling up. Exhale, sinking back onto the back leg. Inhale, coming up into the lotus kick. Step to the heel. Exhale, the arms go behind as you roll forward. Exhale. Sink back. Restrict forward for tiger. Inhale and pull up. Exhale. We're going to come into our closing movement now. So we're just going to sweep here and then turn forward, coming across, and inhale up. For silk sheets, exhale down. We're not done with it yet, but I wanted to give it a close, and then we'll go through it kind of a more flowing, less staccato with me saying less. But let's see. Let's check for comments or questions. Hopefully everybody is following it. Okay, no questions, so I guess I'm doing well. I'll check again after. So, okay. So again, we're going to start. I'm just going to say the names of the movements this time. So begin. Uchi posture, feet shoulder width apart. Slight bend in the knees, aligning the pelvis, sternum, and the forehead. Begin with silk sheets. Shift over. Opening the hips, or I like to call this stepping over the dog. Roll into fire. Shuffle up. Come into the lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pulling up. Sweeping across. Opening the hip. Stepping over the dog. Fire. Shuffle up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pull up. Sweep across. Opening the hip. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pulling up. Sweeping across. Opening the hip. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Rolling up. Sweep across. Opening the hip. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pulling up. Sweeping across. Opening the hip. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Rolling up. sweeping across. Now let's slow the movement down some more. Opening the hip. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pull up. Sweep across. Opening the head. Fire. Shuffling up. Lotus kick. Tiger strike. Pulling up. Sweep across. Now just follow along, and then we'll do a closing movement. Now for our closing, we're just going to come to the center here as we sweep. And silk sheets. I seem to have moved slightly to one side, or I didn't start perfectly in the center, but let's take another sip. We'll start our cool down roll here. We're going to do a quick one because we only have 10 minutes left. An hour goes by quickly. So we're going to start with just some leg raises. And then opening the hips. Should be old hat by now, since we just did a form that basically incorporated that. We really want to try and stay kind of loose in the hips. If you're feeling particularly adventurous today, we can do a squatting, it's called monkey squatting, to really kind of open up, and we get super tight through here and through the psoas. So a very wide stance. placing your hands together and bringing your elbows in between your knees and coming in, trying to keep this back upright as we bring the hips in. Now, if this hurts, stop doing it. But it's good to practice. And I haven't practiced this enough lately. And then we're going to gently kind of come up from that. And you can really feel that through here. I know I'm super tight through here. Comes from too much sitting at the computer. But that's just one thing we can do. Now let's bring our hands to our lower back and just circle the waist. And then reverse directions. All right. I thought about doing teacup circling today, but I think we're going to do something. We're going to make it easy today. We're just going to take our hands and clap our shoulders, switching which arm is on top each time. And then just kind of swinging these arms. All right, now let's take the chin and draw a circle. And then reverse directions. And now we're going to take the chin and we're going to circle it in place and then also go through that orbit of drawing, as we're circling the chin, going through that larger circle. And then reversing directions. So circling the chin the other way and drawing that larger circle the other way. All right. Now, circle the shoulders back. We do a lot of circling exercises. Our joints prefer that. And then circle them forward. And now let's lift them up and let them drop. And we're going to shake the wrists forward. Turn them over. Move them out to the side and bounce a bit. You can hear my dog running around upstairs. We've been lucky so far. He's kept quiet. But he's excited now. Now, let's go ahead and lean forward. Let the arms hang, let the neck hang. Just let gravity pull on you. Go ahead and place your hands on your shins and tilt your head to look at the ground in front of you. Walk your hands up your thighs to your hips. Keep looking at the ground as you bring the hips forward. Now look down between your feet and bring the torso up. And then we're going to slowly bring the head level. You always have to come up in stages with that and always very slowly. Now, we'll finish the standing practice with silk sheets. So as you inhale, let the arms rise on the breath. And exhale. Let them slowly sink back down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. All right, let's all grab a chair and we'll finish up with this seated Qigong. Hopefully you feel good by the end of this practice. That's kind of the goal. Let's see if we have any questions. So we do have a question about mixing up the left and the right side. With this, it's not as important as long as you're doing both sides. You don't have to necessarily do them with me as long as you're getting both sides. For things like when we do fire, if your left leg is forward, it means your left hand's up here. Same thing when we do whichever leg is forward, is usually the side that we're turning toward for like tiger strike. So if we're face to the right, that means that right leg is going to be forward as we kick out with the lotus and then come down and then be back on the left for tiger. So the left and right are difficult, particularly when you're looking at face-on video. This is why when I teach in person, the classrooms that I have mirrors, so I can turn around and so they can see what I'm doing, but they can also see my reflection. So that is handy. Without multiple cameras, there's not much I can do about that, guys. Sorry. That's the challenging part of learning from videos. So do your best to follow along again, and give yourself some space to do so. It doesn't have to be perfect. So as long as you're not injuring yourself, you can always refine. So what we're going to do today is the microcosmic orbit for our seated Qigong. All right, I'm going to take another sip. I just spoke a lot, so. So if you have your back to the back of the chair, I ask that you scoot forward just a little bit. Have your feet, if you can, get them flat on the ground at about shoulder width distance. Gently align the pelvis, the sternum, and the forehead so that you're just lightly holding yourself up with your core. You're not being super rigid, but you're not, slumped either. So, you're kind of suspended upright, just like we are in our standing form. So the microcosmic orbit, we're going to go down from the navel, down through Dantian, and up and around the spine to the crown of the head, and then come down the front center line back down to the navel and Dantian. So we're going to be circulating Qi up through these channels. Now there's a gap between the governing vessel and central meridian, and that happens here and here. That's where the endpoints are. So to close that gap, you're going to place the tip of your tongue up against the roof of your mouth behind the teeth. And we're going to picture a little pearl starting either at Dantian or at the navel. And as you inhale that, it's going to go, down around the perineum and then up the spine through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, it's going to float back down the front center line of the body, back down the dantian. So close your eyes, have the tip of your tongue up against the roof of your mouth, and as you inhale, have that little pearl go down and around, up the spine, to the crown of the head, and as you exhale, have it float back down the front center line, back to dantian. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling chi up the spine. Exhaling down the front center line of the body. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly allow that image to fade. Release the tip of your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. All right. Bring your left hand palm face up. Inhale, circle it in towards the chest. Down and around. Exhale. Bring it in towards the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, if you find this video helpful, please like it, share it, subscribe it, comment on it. Share it on social media. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you get the updates when I'm uploading a new video or scheduling a live stream. If you want to support my work, there's links down below. You can send a PayPal donation of one time, or you can join my Patreon community of support. And there are various tiers. There's the Tai Chi tier, which basically gets you, your names goes in the credits for all my videos. And you can always, again, request certain things for the Tai Chi that I can work on with my live streams and instructional videos. There's, the other two tiers, ones that get you on my weekly email list with ceremonies and monthly group work. And then there's the premium level, which gets you all of that, plus, an individual 10-minute session every month for $25, which is a pretty good deal. So, until next time, peace and blessings.